It's Monday.
What are you
Monday's
doing?
being productive.
That's so embarrassing.
Best execution.
Ugh. Hey guys, I'm Alex Mazukin, also known as Mr. Build It, and today we're doing DIYers react to builds. I've been doing YouTube for 6-7 years now, and I have some of these videos that have been on the internet probably since 6 years ago, and I haven't looked at them in years. And it's gonna be interesting to see what they look like, and hopefully I can make fun of myself, and more than that, share something that I've learned now that we're 6-7 years into it. All right, let's start this first one. This is about 5 years ago, how to build a floating shelf. Oh man, first thing that I'm thinking is how grungy the lighting is. I had, I think, maybe 2 light bulbs in my very first shop or garage where my wife parked her car. And it's such an amber thing. It's so zoomed in. And I'm doing voiceover, which is funny. I haven't done voiceover in years. I'm gluing up this, it's funny because everything's getting glued up, which some might think, oh, that's a really advanced technique, but really, and I think I mentioned it in this video, that I didn't have a brad nailer. So all I had is like 2 saws and a hammer and I guess a couple of clamps. Oh geez, no feeling for timing or anything. It's just, I wish somebody told me to zoom out a little bit. That'd be helpful.
Start clamping all the things. Just shy away from tightening your pieces way too, or at least.
I guess those couple of minutes of straight up wrestling with clamps.
Larger or smaller is really gonna.
Brad nailer saved the day. Zoom out on the camera. All right, let's see what else we got. This will be a natural.
So if you coming up the street and you're beginning to feel the heat.
Today is my favorite day of the week. It's Monday.
What are we
Monday's
doing?
for being productive, but even better, Mondays are for trash day.
Now, this is the best part. I was really inspired by Casey Neistat to start creating YouTube videos, and he's this vlogger in New York. And I just started mimicking him, so I started taking drone shots and doing these like skyline panoramic stuff. Okay, so we're going through some bins. Whenever you start YouTube, you don't know where to start, so you just mimic the people that you watch or consume their content. And you could clearly tell. In fact, I think I remember I was bombarded with so many comments of people saying, Casey Neistat wannabe. And I kind of thought it was a compliment because people are watching his YouTube videos are also watching mine, but you don't know where you start, man. I guess you gotta mimic somebody. All right, so this is a jointer. This is my very first jointer. It's, as you can see, it's gray and industrial. This is, I got it on Craigslist, and it was a 1962 J-line jointer. It was stuff they used to have in wood shop in like the 60s and 70s. It was not very accurate. I think it was such a headache, but it was a cool bragging right to me. I was like, oh, I got this like really industrial thing. I thought that was really cool when I had conversations with people because I'd be like, oh, I got this old school stuff. But I guess they didn't know that I just had what I could get, really. God, man, I wish somebody told me to zoom out the camera. Why am everything so zoomed in? At least I got lighting figured out a little bit, except everything's blown out. Like I had no idea of what contrast was or exposure. Well, that's what you get for imitating other people. Let's see what's next. So this is, I got a bunch of leftover hardwood flooring from a flooring guy, and I was like, oh, it's real wood. I didn't have sponsors, I didn't have money or the budget to build anything, so I basically took what I could get or find. And this is flooring that I'm gluing up, which you shouldn't do. It's only like ½ an inch thick, and it's tongue and groove. And I remember wrestling with this and tried not to cup or bow or anything, but apparently it worked. So I basically made one big frame of it. And then the middle part was supposed to be metal. Let's see here. All right, so here I am putting metal, welding the frame to attach it to the wall. My neighbor's here, he didn't want to be on camera, so I promised I'd block him out. But I'm putting a little glue on top. Here's the thing about this desk. It looked really cool, and of course we lose focus. It looked really cool, but because I attached it into studs, and it was a solid frame, but there was drywall in the way, it flexed quite a bit. So like, it's fine if you're sitting there, but if you're gonna try to sit on it, the thing's gonna bend way down the road. I think looking back into it, one thing I would have been done different, I would have probably cut out the drywall and attached it straight to the studs. It'd probably have a little bit of flex still, but maybe put like a corbel or two under, but it looked really pretty. And yeah, you see that flex right there.
The best tricks I learned when it comes to milling wood, best tricks I've learned. When
Okay,
you
settle down.
do the edge and
This is my buddy Bo. Okay. Okay, so this was a funny thing. I was building this cornhole set, and I think it was one of my very earlier ever sponsored videos. And I broke my arm completely in half. Well, actually, it was this one, and I have 2 steel plates in it on this electric skateboard. And I was in the middle of this project, and so I asked my buddy Bo, who also builds in his garage, and I was like, "Hey man, I need you to do a favor. Like, I have to introduce you. Can you help me finish off this thing?" So going forward through this video, it's Bo doing the work. So here's Bo sanding. What a good guy, huh? Oh look, we still got Ryobi in here. Right on. Ah, good friends. All right, so this is me already back into this video. This is actually the very first time I learned how to solder copper pipes. And I always thought you just use the wire, heat it up, and it should go in. And it never did, it just came undone. And then literally after an entire weekend of trying to figure out, I finally Googled and I realized that you have to put this flux on the inside, this paste, and then when you introduce the wire, it does like a capillary fill. It's kind of like science, like it sucks it in, it creates this like vacuum for it to, I don't know if it's a vacuum exact, but it sucks it all in as you get to, yeah, it's going right into that joint. But I remember specifically how frustrated I was because I didn't do my research. I kind of just assumed that's how you do it. And man, that was a hard lesson learned. All right, so this is where I built the a wireless charging station dock for like an iPhone and an Apple Watch out of epoxy. And it was my very first epoxy job I've ever done, very first project. And here I'm making this mold, and the mold was fine, except I didn't know that you're supposed to use like a Tyvek kind of like special tape that prevents it from having the epoxy sticking to the tape. So I use this waterproofing tape from, I don't remember who, but this is like the hardest release of the epoxy from the mold because it's a rubberized tape, so it's like glued to it. Oh my gosh, I remember how miserable it was. Hey, look, it's not even an even pour. It's like slanted. I didn't think to like level the table. So this is putting on the jointer to try to, you can see this is my second jointer. I'm trying to level it out. I probably spent like $200 worth of epoxy to create this thing that you could, the idea that you can build, the thing that you can buy on Amazon for like 12 bucks, but I decided to, of course, overcomplicate it. Oh my God, look at me, I'm trying to flatten this thing out. Destroying the blades on my jointer. Look at that.
Now, typically what you would do is after the first side, you would
oh my God, that's,
to create a parallel.
yeah, don't do that, folks. Don't do that.
That being such a small piece,
The biggest waste of a project ever.
I decided to take my chance and just flip it over.
It's so cringy. Okay, so this is a video, I think it was one of the very earlier videos that kind of went viral for me as a content creator. And I didn't think it's gonna be that great of an idea, but somehow kind of took off. So I'm creating this water feature, and the issue with it is, it worked in theory, like it created the rain, but the problem is I never considered flow, so I put all these slow dripping jets on that are spaced out, but I never followed through with having a flow. Like it created too much turbulence up there, so you didn't have enough of the water coming out. What I should have done is had a continuation over, and that way it could cycle through. But instead, it just all started this overpowering turbulence in there. Either bigger jets or a continuation of a flow. My voice is raspy. You could tell I was sick or something like that. Here's the raindrop water. It was fine, but the water also got hardened, so I think I needed bigger jets in order to accomplish this. I'm pretty convinced that the people who have the house now, that these are probably calcified from all the hard water. But hey, I guess, I mean, you gotta give some credit for effort, I guess. Yeah. All right, let's go on to the next one.
Two. The top of the railing was a 2x1, and then each individual little slats, if you will, they're running down
Look at this.
horizontally. were
Shorts
by half-inch.
in a house.
Now, due to the nature of the railing,
Sparks are flying. I did put down a welding blanket so the floors, you can see it right there, the floors don't get ruined, don't start a fire. There's also right there is a joint right in the middle. This is so embarrassing. So obviously DIYer, not a professional welder. I could sometimes make a decent weld, at least back then, but this is the worst example ever. There's this joint right between, to the left of my head, the top railing and the bottom line connect, and it goes down this way, and the other one goes at a different angle, but in a different plane. And I didn't know how to create the cut how real fabricators would, so I decided to just throw as many beads at it as possible after it connected, and then just grind the crap at it. Like there's this old saying, you know, there's good welders and there's good grinders, and I think I convinced myself that I was a good grinder. That's so embarrassing.
best execution.
Ugh.
Install the post
Hey, well,
first, make sure they're
people
nice
liked
and
it, I
smooth,
guess.
And then tack welding each
so
individual
bad.
piece into its secure place. It allowed for me.
Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of DIYers React to Builds. You can see, I didn't know what I was doing, but you know, we learned along the way, and it's been 6-7 years later, and now I feel like I have a little bit better understanding and improvement on my skill set. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Tune out this week. See you guys on the next one. See ya.